Good morning, friends, and welcome back for another day here in the Power Summer Collegiate League. Alongside Sam Walters, I'm Steve Granado. Game one of the day here is Bootleggers and Bombers. We are underway on the hill here today for the Bombers. Wearing the yellow top, Ian Wheel is on the bump. His 0-1 pitch to Jeff Broaders misses down and off the plate. Again, alongside Sam Walters, I'm Steve Granado. We are underway here from sunny SoCal. Sun is shining here today. Again, 9:02 the game's first pitch here in game one of our three-game schedule today. It is 92 degrees, sunny with light haze off in the distance. 1 ball and 2 strikes your count here. Jeff Broaders, then Nathan Beckley and Henry Wright. We'll get to the rest of the lineup and your defensive arrangements here shortly. 1-2, quick work here for Ian Will. He gets his first strikeout of the day. 1 up, 1 down. Now defensively here for the Bombers.
In the yellow and white, the Bombers in the outfield from left to right. Brandon Smith out in left, Mason Daniels in center, Aiden Rowan out in right field. From third to first on the infield is Deshaun Johnson at the hot corner, Connor Lang at short, Matt Gonzalez at second today, and Gary Peralta at first. Tyler Richardson gets the start behind the plate.
That he does. First pitch to the left-handed Nathan Beckley misses downstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Ian Will making his 4th appearance of the year, his 3rd start. He's factored in just 1 decision, came in on the positive side, so he's 1-0. Downstairs with this one, 2 balls, no strikes. Call that one a strike. It's 2-1. Bombers find themselves in 3rd place by themselves right now. Enter today 5-3 on the year. The Bootleggers a little further down around the middle of the pack at 4-3-2. Pitch is down in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike. Still plenty of baseball to be played here in the Power Summer Collegiate League. We are about halfway at this point.
Today does mark the halfway.
There you go. Ground ball towards short. Little stutter step for Connor Lang. Throw to first in time, so no incident there. Ground out goes 6-3 to bring up Henry Wright. Now the Power, the big club here, made it to the halfway point last night. Today will mark game 11 of 21. So I guess, once we're in the middle of the 5th, then we're officially at the halfway point tonight.
I'll be counting them down.
Uh-huh. Henry Wright, the center fielder, with 2 up, 2 down for Ian Wheel. That's W-E-I-L. On its way to right. In for a strike on the inside corner. It's a good start here for Wheel to get ahead of 2 of the first 3 batters he sees. The 0-1 pitch is down and off the plate. Not as warm as it was yesterday at this time. Actually, weirdly enough, it's the exact same temperature. Felt hotter yesterday. Felt muggier. It was the humidity yesterday that really got to us. In the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike. Further here in the inning goes Jalen Freeman, Colin Jensen, and Tommy Eisenstadt. Bottom part of the order for the Bootleggers, Marcus Weinzimmer, John McCutcheon, Ryan Hoskins, and Greg Pavin. 1-1 is cut on and missed. Took something off of it there, did Wheel, and it's 1-2. Or 2-2. Base is empty. No outs, no score. We're just underway from Palm Springs Stadium in the top of the 1st. 2-2 got him. Challenged him with a fastball, and Wright goes down swinging. So a pair of punch-outs here for Ian Wheel in the 1st. As a part of a 1-2-3 frame, Mason Daniels will lead things off against Matt Lascano of the Bootleggers. When we come back, scoreless as we go to the bottom of 1. Bombers coming to the plate for the first time today. Mason Daniels, Matt Gonzalez, and Deshaun Johnson here at the top of the first. Anything further, Tyler Richardson, Gary Peralta, and Brandon Smith, with the bottom part of the order being Aiden Rowan, Vinny Alfino, Connor Lang, and Robert Blaschke. First pitch from Matt Lascano, misses up and out. 1 ball and no strikes. Matt Lascano, the left-handed starter on the hill here today, making his 5th appearance. This is his first start this season. The 1-0 is just a bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Sam, differences starting, relieving, many things made of them, but here in the PSCL, is there anything different than what a normal start relief role would look like? Misses outside 3-0.
My best guess is that you're not getting like a lot of heads up. There's no like 5 days before I know it's my turn in the rotation. So it's a quick turnaround. Guys are having to come out. A lot of these starts, unless you're a guy that's already solidified yourself for your team, it's always going to be a hustle to get ready.
Sure, especially because teams don't arrive to the ballpark until about an hour before. And if you're game 2 on this field, you got about a half hour of warm-up time, and usually hitting in the cages beforehand. But no one's really warming up. Here's a fly ball into center field, long run over, chased it down. Did Henry Wright, as Mason Daniels flies out to the opposing center fielder. Let's start in that outfield, Sam.
Henry Wright in center, Colin Jensen to his left in left field, and Jeff Broaders covering right. Third to first in the infield is John McCutcheon at third, Nathan Beckley at short, Greg Pavin at second, and Tommy Eisenstadt over at first base. Ryan Hoskins is covering the plate.
I won't get tired of that one. Hoskins behind the plate.
You would think Hoskins at first base.
Yeah.
Ryan, Reese, almost there.
Almost. Our Hoskins. This one's ours. First pitch is high to Matt Gonzalez, the second baseman. We're in a scoreless affair, bottom 1 with 1 down and the bases clear. Bombers batting. 1-0 here on Gonzalez. Kick and deal, here it comes. Strike called. Sam, we've been talking a lot, well, not a lot, but we just kind of brought up the differences. One more difference that I've kind of noticed here throughout the PSCL this year, not a lot of guys going from the windup anymore. So in that regard, Matt Lascano, a bit of a unicorn. Here's a bouncing ball left side, charging in. Beckley has to go off of his mitt. So that'll go as an E6 to put the runner aboard at first. And right as I say that, of course, now he'll have to go from the stretch.
Yeah, I think the main difference is that a lot of these guys come out of relief roles in college, and we're seeing a lot more, starters and guys that are coming out in the opening innings pitching from the stretch because they don't want to have to change that mentality. A lot about your mechanics can change, and if you're under a high-stress situation, a lot of tension in the game, you start to lose focus and lose those mechanics if you're in the windup sometimes.
Power player Deshaun Johnson to the plate. He takes a strike on the inner edge. 0-1 last night against the San Diego Force as a member of the big club. Went 0 for 2 with a pair of walks, including 1 intentional. He struck out and scored in that ball game last night. Sold the pickoff toss to first. Johnson, like a couple of them, not the whole roster at the Power Squad, playing in both the PSCL and the Power. It's a lot of baseball to be played and to be talked about. Long pause, time called.
Yeah, Deshaun's had it working well at both ends. He is leading the PSCL currently in batting average and I believe OPS as well.
10 for 12, Sam.
Yeah.
10 for 12 here.
That's what happens when you hit 2 triples in a game.
Up and away with this one. Let's see, 10 for 12, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 6 RBIs. He's tied with Tyler Richardson for the team lead in ribbies.
And Tyler got 4 of those RBI on 1 swing.
That helps. Couple looks at first. They come home with it. Upstairs with it. 2 balls and 1 strike.
See, that's the benefit of seeing the Bombers a lot at Palm Springs Stadium is that we know what these guys are doing. We know how they're scoring runs. We know how their pitchers are working. It's a lot different. The Bootleggers is the 3rd time we've seen them, 2nd time in 2 days, but we're still learning a lot more about some of these teams.
Misses off the plate for a 3-1 count. believe this is the second look we get at Matt Lascano.
Yes,
I'm
he's
not
coming in
mistaken.
relief before.
Yes. Trying to remember. 3 games a day will do that to you. That'll be a 5-pitch walk to put runners on first and second for the aforementioned Tyler Richardson. First walk today.
And like I mentioned, it seems like Lascano might be one of those guys that obviously you have to pitch out of the stretch. Unless you're really got it going well, you're going to have runners on base. But
pretty integral part of the game.
Yes, the attack plan has already seemed to change, and he seems to already have lost a little bit of confidence, maybe trying to throw to the strike zone when he's out of the stretch.
Richardson, the catcher tonight. Runner takes off for third. The throw there. He's safe. Swam around the tag. Matt Gonzalez steals third. Deshaun Johnson got the memo a little too late. So he stays put at first. Not many times you see the pitcher step off, yet a stolen bag still chalked up. So Matt Gonzalez breaks out the wheels. First offering to Richardson, misses upstairs.
Yeah, it's always tough for a guy at first base on a first and second. You're not getting a called double steal, so you already have the pitcher staring right into your eyes.
Sure, especially that lefty, yeah.
Yeah.
1-0. In the air to center field. The wheels are going to pay off. Henry Wright there to make the grab. Tagging and scoring here. The first run of the ball game. Matt Gonzalez touches the white pentagon. It's 1-0 Bombers. That was the second stolen base of the year, by the way, for Matt Gonzalez. And again, it pays off. Deshaun Johnson has to stay put at first. So the air comes back to haunt. That is an unearned run, any way you slice it. Gary Peralta, the next guy up. Peralta, one of the furthest traveled here in the PSCL this year, a Rhode Island native, smacks one into left field. First pitch he sees, goes down and gets it. And the first baseman stands at his natural position with a 2-out single rather. That moves Johnson to second. Bring up Brandon Smith.
All this action already, and that's the first hit for the Bombers.
That's a good point. Third batted ball. Nope, fourth batted ball. Mason Daniels flew out as well. Forgot about that one.
The first hit of the game in general.
Sure. Brandon Smith, the left fielder, right-handed bat, first and second. Big lead off of second base. Caught the corner. It's 0-1. Johnson getting a little greedy over in the middle of the diamond without anybody really looking at him. Not holding the runner at first either in Peralta, so he gets a healthy few steps off. Call the balk. That'll put Johnson on third and Peralta on second. Little stutter step there for Matt Lascano. We talked about that once, Sam. The weird nature of balks and how confusing they can be.
Right.
Even I saw that one.
Yeah, it's becoming quite obvious as we go here that Lascano would rather be pitching out of the windup. He seems to have more mechanically fundamental workarounds when he's pitching full.
Sure. Pitches a ball to Brandon Smith. The chance with runners on second and third, 1-0 Bombers. We're in the home half of the first. Coming home. Late hack sends it out of play for strike 2. Well, what do we always say, Sam? I'm going to get this tattooed on my forehead. That's why he's here. You're here to work on things. That's the whole thing. Oh, 2 pitch. Up and away. 2-2. Brandon Smith, local kid out of the College of the Desert, 5'10", 165. Peralta at second, Johnson at third. 2-2 now. Fill it up. Lascano out of Murrieta, California, not too far away. So pitch comes home on the payoff and didn't give him the corner. Second walk of the inning will load the bases for Aiden Rowan. Not a bad pitch there on 3-2.
No, not a bad spot to try at all.
Just kind of sailed a little bit on him, just a little bit. Kind of seeing that pitching out of the stretch versus the windup. Seems like Lascano might be short-arming a little bit, resulting to up and away against right-handers. He's got a lefty here, so up and away to a lefty or to a righty on a lefty is hit him in the elbow. There it is again upstairs and tie it 1-0. That can happen when pitching out of the stretch versus pitching from the windup. You don't have your full rock, kick, and getting on top of the baseball. You can certainly become accustomed to short arming. He pulled that one down better. There you go. And he get the ground out for it. So that was a nice job. Good recovery for Matt Lascano at the sac fly. An unearned run here in the frame. We've played one at Palm Springs Stadium, and the Bombers have themselves a 1-0 advantage. Bombers lead this ball game 1-0 on the outset of the first. It'll be Jalen Freeman, Colin Jensen, and Tommy Eisenstadt. And Will had a 1-2-3 top of the inning. First pitch down and in. 1 ball and no strikes to the extra hitter out of the cleanup spot, Jalen Freeman. Again, we played 10 batters here in the PSCL. Lifted to center. Sized up by Daniels. 2 pitches, 1 gone here in the second. Game 1 of 2 for us here today in the PSCL. Later on today at 11:30 scheduled. Grizzly and Coyotes will get just our second look at the Coyotes squad, weirdly enough, through halfway the season now.
You will.
I will.
It'll be my third.
No. Excuse me.
I've seen him a few times.
Oh.
We're on speaking terms.
Got an expert. Colin Jensen, the left fielder, offers at the first one and just barely nicks it into the mid. It's 0-1.
I wish I was a Coyote expert. Like a guy that could just go out like a Bear Grylls type, but I only focus on Coyotes.
Okay.
It'll be cool.
Breaking ball, a strike. 0-2. Are you sure? Have you always wanted that, or did that just hit your brain right now and you're trying to fill space? Calling you out, Samuel.
I used to want to be a marine biologist. Those aren't too far apart, are they? Coyotes.
I think they're pretty far apart.
You can find a coyote in the water somewhere.
That's a bad sign if you can. Here's a swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Ian Wheel. That's 5 up, 5 down. Makes quick work of Colin Jensen. Those were all strikes, by the way. No chasing for Jensen. Forced to swing. Tommy Eisenstadt will try and figure it out now. I think you're about to land and sea pretty far away. I mean, I guess they border each other. downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes here on the left-handed hitting Tommy Eisenstadt. It's 1-0 Bombers. We're in the top of 2. 2 outs, bases empty here for the Bootleggers. Lifted third base side. Long run for Johnson. Foul territory, reaches up, and it's in the camera well. Tough play for Deshaun Johnson trying to weave his way around traffic.
Yeah, the media booth is right over there on the third base side, and if that wasn't there, he might have had a play on it, but it ended up drifting into the stands either way.
Yeah, that ball wasn't hit very hard, so it's falling very quickly. Didn't get a lot of lift under it. One. Eisenstadt lazily into center. Good read for Daniels off the bat. And that's another 1-2-3 frame. Ian Will 6 up, 6 down with 3 punch outs. We go to the bottom of 2. The Bombers maintain a 1-0 lead. To the bottom of 2 after a 1-run frame for the Bombers. They'll come back to the plate here with Vinny Alfino leading things off. Alfino, Connor Lang, and Robert Blaschke, the scheduled guys here in the inning. 1 run on 1 hit. It was an unearned run charge to Matt Lascano in the first. We'll see how he reacts here to the second inning. Ground ball foul to begin the at-bat 0-1. Alfino takes one up and out. 1-1. Vinny Alfino out of Cal State San Marcos. And he'll line one into center field. Over there is Henry Wright. A lot of flyouts to center right now. Let's see, we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times already. 5 times in 10 outs.
It was a good thing for Henry Wright that he's getting a good track on it. This is the first time we're seeing him this year. He did not start the game yesterday, did not play in the game yesterday for the Bootleggers. And I don't remember him being on the roster we saw the second day of the season.
I can't remember what happened this morning, Sam. So,
what's today?
I'll pardon you. April 1st. Bunt pulled back here. This is Connor Lang, the shortstop of choice for the Bombers. 1-0. They still lead it. We're bottom 2 with 1 out and the bases empty. 1 ball and no strikes. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, right?
Well, that was yesterday.
Oh, I forgot. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. In a 3-game day. Every day, at least 2, except for one of them. Days lose meaning. In the air to center. How many times have I said that? I can tell you. 6. Connor Lang flies out to Henry Wright. 6 of 11 now.
At some point, it starts to feel like we're in the bubble.
That's a very good point. I feel like who would we be on the TNT set?
We're in a mountainous bubble at this point, surrounded by Coachella Valleys, highest and brightest.
Shocked and a fool, Robert Blaschke. He comes to the plate here. Oh, not Robert. Oh, what Blaschke do? Down and in, 1 ball, no strikes to the Bombers' extra hitter.
Quick, Steve, race me to the other side of the press box.
EJ's Nito stat. SW's Nito stat. Down and in here.
Both went to UGA.
Did you really?
That's right.
That's funny. I did not go to LSU like Shaq. Sorry. I did break tons of baskets, however, throughout my time.
Easter baskets?
No, not at all. 2 outs and the base is clear. Bombers still leading this one. Bottom 2. Here comes Lascano. Misses outside. That'll be ball 4. So we will not have 1, 2, 3 bottom of the second. 3rd walk issued by Lascano. Kicks the order back around for Mason Daniels. Number 1. Mason Daniels.
Who he played for?
Cue the music, Kenny. Your Hawks won last night, Sam.
They sure did.
Without Trey.
Mickey Mouse win, but we'll take it.
Blaschke, big lead off first. First pitch, they didn't even look at him. So that means Blaschke can take another half step. Up and away, 1-0. Tragic Bronson alert. Last one, I promise. Here's a ground ball. Takes a candy hop to the chest of Beckley, and the throw will get underneath the glove. Second error charge to the Bootleggers today. That one's going against Beckley. It's also his second. Matt Gonzalez to the plate. First and second. We'll see if the Bombers take advantage here in the inning. Still 2 gone. 2 have reached with it. Gonzalez reached on the air and scored the only run of the ball game, due large in part to his speed. He grounds the first one. Second opportunity for Beckley. Go the short way to retire the sides. So the fielder's choice will go 6-4. We've played 2 innings in Palm Springs. The Bombers still holding on to a 1-0 lead. 6 up, 6 down, by the way, for Ian Wheel. We'll see how he responds here in the 3rd. It's a 1-0 ball game as we go to the top of the 3rd. Marcus Weinzimmer will lead things off here for the Bootleggers. It's Weinzimmer. Then John McCutcheon and Ryan Hoskins here in the inning. Ian Will, 6 up, 6 down, his first pitch. In the dirt, 1-0. Don't look, Sam. Spell Weinzimmer.
I'm not looking. Okay, Weinzimmer.
Good.
Starting off right.
Strike called, 1-1.
Weinzimer. Weinzimmer.
I had to make sure. Okay, yes, you are correct. Congratulations.
Ding, ding, ding.
You move on in the ESPN Spelling Bee. And that one slowly rolled up the middle. First base runner of the day for the Bootleggers is a leadoff single from Marcus Weinzimmer. Good job. You learned, see?
I did it.
You said the name, you spell it, and you say it again. These are them rules.
The rules.
Duh rules. Duh rules. Get a pinch runner at first. BTW, or courtesy runner, I should say. That's Brandon McCray, courtesy running at first base.
Nice of you to do that, Brandon.
So nice. What a gentleman. Chivalry isn't dead. First strike on John McCutcheon. You know, you hold the door open for people, you pull out her seat, and you courtesy run at first base for your DH. And then you don't get picked off.
And then Gary Peralta, the first baseman, helps him cross the street.
Yeah, yeah. Take the jacket off, put it on the puddle.
That's right.
Has anyone ever actually done that? That seems insane. Why don't you walk around it?
I thought about it once. I didn't do it.
Cool. I've helped an old lady with the groceries a time or again. Wow, I guess you haven't.
Well, I mean,
Wow, telling. Your colors are showing.
I could flex my Boy Scout community service, but
You just got it for the badge. Just a swing and a miss. Just for the badge.
just for a belt loop.
Help an old lady cross the street. They call that a balk, by the way. So Marcus Weinzimmer's courtesy runner, McCray, takes second. First balk we've seen. First time out of the stretch for Ian Wheel. They're going to go ask about it. Or maybe figure out lunch plans. Looks like they've settled on Applebee's. Or Earl's.
Should have chose Longhorn. I went to Elmer's yesterday.
Elmer's, that's what it was, sorry. Or the old Spaghetti Factory, or Kaiser Grill.
Go get yourself the biggest margarita in the valley at Blue Coyote Grill.
What does it do?
Makes you howl, I think.
Sorry, I don't speak that language.
Don't want to bust someone's eardrums.
Swing and a miss. Took something off of it. That was maybe the best pitch we've seen from Ian Wheel today. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Your count here on John McCutcheon, the third baseman. Runner at second represents the tying run, a single and a balk. He chased this one but got a piece of it. John McCutcheon out of Oklahoma Wesleyan, went to Southwest Christian High School. Class of 2020 Southwest Christian, located in Fort Worth. 6'3", 200, was a multi-sport athlete down in his prep days, also a football player. Who isn't in Texas? Never been to Texas except for on a layover.
If you got shoulders, they'll put pads on you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Got another piece of that one. Let's say California to baseball is Texas to football is Michigan to hockey. Is New York to basketball?
Is Georgia to fishing?
There you go. Is Sam to Georgia. Here's a called strike 3 on the outside fastball. Got him looking. Punch out number 4 for Ian Will. That's the first out of the third inning. Brings up Ryan Hoskins, the catcher.
You know, there are like collegiate fishing teams.
I'm aware.
Georgia has one of the better ones
It's
on
also
Augusta University.
Collegiate Rocket League teams and
course.
Overwatch teams, Dota, League, in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. I know that California has definitely jumped on that train of collegiate esports. Even prep.
Yes.
There are many high school esports teams now.
A lot of them in Georgia now these days.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Offering misses upstairs here on Ryan Hoskins. He bats with a runner at second and one out here in the third. They're trying to bring home the tying run. Considered hopping into the shoutcasting game. Went to a Overwatch League game a couple of years ago during its inaugural season. It's a long day, by the way.
Yes.
2-1. They play 5 matches. It's a long day. We were there for like 6 hours.
Were you watching like famous streamers or like a local team?
Well,
or?
it's the league, the Overwatch League. I don't know how much you played Overwatch or if you did or not.
I know of it. I know
Okay,
some of the big streamers on Twitch.
Well, they have it set up to where it's very much like a professional sports league, like a traditional sports league. That's a good breaking ball again. That's really working well right now for Ian Wheel. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But yeah, they have it set up to where, okay, it's the LA Gladiators versus the Philadelphia, whatever. I forget the Philly name, but
67ers.
The Shanghai Dragons, those teams. That's going to be another balk. Marcus Weinzimmer's, again, courtesy runner. McCray will take third. I'll learn eventually. I only write it down if he scores. Or does anything like a stolen base or anything like that.
Sorry, Brandon McCray, you're not good enough for him yet.
Well, I can't take the spot. I'm going to ruin my scorebook, man.
You did so many nice things.
Oh, jeez.
Steve does nothing to repay you.
Hoskins fouls it back and nearly trips on his shoelaces. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talk about tying you up. Yeah, it's pretty cool, though. It was a fun time. Just an arena out in Burbank. Down the street from a good taco spot.
As is everything in Burbank.
That's a called strike 3. Got him to stare at it on the outside edge. Give him 5 on the day. Still work to be done, however, as Greg Pavin comes to the plate. Pavin, slow start to his summer. 1 for 14. His lone hit was a single. Does have an RBI to his credit. He's walked once and struck out 3 times. Good spot for him to start turning it around right here. Outside with it, 1 ball and no strikes. There's 2 away. We're in the top of the third. 1-0. Bombers still leading. That can change if Greg Pavin is able to find some outfield grass. A breaking ball for a strike. 1-1. Got pretty serious about Overwatch for a time. I was up there, ranked fairly high, all things considered, for a non-professional esports player. Inside 2-1.
Was never my type of game. I like watching people play it, though.
It's fun. Very toxic, though.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
why I don't
ultimately
play.
got me out of it, yeah. 3 balls and 1 strike. Greg Pavin out of the University of Laverne, went to LaSalle High School. Laverne only played 12 games this year. Pitch is in the dirt. First walk here for Ian Wheel. Puts him on the corners for the top of the order. It's Jeff Broaders. Got a little serious about Rocket League once upon a time. Not as serious. Played it a lot, though. That came out my senior year of college, so I was playing that like crazy in between classes. Don't necessarily have that time anymore. Happens to the best of us. For a strike, 0-1.
Well, that's how it was when Fortnite came out when I was in college.
Oh, jeez.
Freshman year.
Zoomers. I'm just kidding. I played a little bit, but not a big Battle Royale guy. Down and away. 2-0. I remember I started out with PUBG. When that came out, I was in the beta on that guy on Steam. This is falling on a lot of deaf ears right now, Sam. I think you're the only person hearing this that probably understands. This one popped on the first base side, a look by Peralta, but he's out of room. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jeff Broder struck out swinging back in the first inning. He was the first batter of the ball game. That was 41 minutes ago. trying to bring home the equalizer, if not more. Chased it down and away, and that pitch is working very well today for Ian Wheel. That's his 6th punch out, a leadoff single and a couple bucks with a walk mixed in. Doesn't come back to bite. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Lead still intact for the Bombers. It's 1-0. Bottom 3 coming up. It'll be Deshaun Johnson to lead things off here for the Bombers as they still lead this ball game 1-0. Many thanks to Ian Wheel for keeping it that way. Down and away, 1 ball, no strikes. He's up to 6 strikeouts today. A little rough there in the 3rd, but all things considered, still that 0 up. Ground ball stays true and takes a late hop for the second baseman, Pavin. He handles it with ease.
Steve, I just want you to know that is the 3rd out that Deshaun Johnson has recorded in the PSCL.
Wow, that's a great point.
That is the 3rd time that they have been able to get this man out.
Wow.
The whole time.
Good catch. That was his 19th plate appearance.
And he finally went 0 for 3.
Yeah, he's not been caught stealing either, so there you go. Just seeing if there was one more that I could catch you on. Here's a line shot to the hot corner. John McCutcheon reels it in, 2 away. What, 3 pitches?
Yep, 3 pitches.
Take that any day of the week. Gary Peralta the next up. We'll see if he can see more than 2. Sam, we talk about the lack of crowds in the PSCL, which is, again, understandable. Day games, morning games, and, you know, it's open seating here. But you do see some regulars around these parts outside with it 1-0. Some of the faithful, some of the truly dedicated. I mean, to sit out here in triple digits in the sun during the day, hats off, man. Well, keep them on so you don't get sunburned. But from me, in my cozy little box.
A tip of the metaphorical cap to you.
The theoretical, there's another word for it.
Metaphysical.
Proverbial.
There we go.
There it is. Up and away. That's 3-0. What do you think proverbial is in Spanish? Venture a guess. I don't even know how to spell it in English. Hold on.
Proverbial.
Doesn't exist. That misses downstairs for ball 4. 4th walk for Matt Lascano, so he won't have a clean inning. Brings up Brandon Smith. Speaking of walks, he did that back in the 1st. 1-0. Bombers, bottom 3. How is that possible that nothing pops up? Or it's just straight up proverbial. There you go. Exact same spelling, exact same word. Flip job to right. That's going to land in the outfield grass. Just the second hit of the day for the Bombers, and Brandon Smith adds his name to the board. Just snuck it into right. Didn't get too fancy with it.
You know, I'll say something that my second Spanish professor in college told all of us in her class.
Okay.
Thank you, Senora Mosley.
Ah, Mosley.
What she tried to explain was that English has a lot of words to try to explain things that we can't quite grasp. Spanish doesn't have many of those.
Yeah.
A lot of things grained in reality.
Yes, it's a very realistic language. Here's a pop-up off the bat of Aiden Rowan. The catcher, Hoskins, is out and will retire the sides here in the inning. So nothing doing other than a walk and a single with 2 outs, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left, 1 in scoring position. 3 in the books. We go to the 4th. 2, 3, and 4 for the Lakers. Sam Walters is your play-by-play. When we come back, it's still 1-0 Bombers. One run on 2 hits, no errors, and 6 left for the Bombers. No runs on 1 hit, 2 errors, and 2 left for the Bootleggers. We're going to the top of the 4th. Nathan Beckley will lead things off. As we go there, here's Sam Walters.
First pitch swung on and fouled back out of play by Nathan Beckley. Ian Will working on his 4th inning of work. So far, he's only allowed 2 base runners. A hit and a walk, the only thing standing between Ian Wheel and perfection. Here's the 0-1. Misses low. We've seen Ian Wheel a couple of times already this year. I think 1 time out of the pen and 1 time starting, and he's impressed us all 3. That one's grounded up the middle, past the feet of Ian Wheel and into center field. Second base hit of the game for the Bootleggers comes from Nathan Beckley to lead off the 4th. His ability to limit damage is something that makes him super valuable in this league, because there's going to be a lot of intangibles that you can't really teach pitchers, and there's also going to be a lot of things that you can't control happening around in the field. That's right. A lot of guys shifting in and out of positions, guys getting at bats, guys getting looks in the field. Can't always control if guys are going to go out there and, you see a couple mistakes, see a guy that come in and sub behind you, you're not sure if they're going to have the range to make a certain play. That one misses to Henry Wright, 1-0. So for him to come out here constantly and be able to work himself out of damage, he had a runner at 3rd, back in the 3rd, was able to work out of that. Swung on and missed. Healthy hack for Henry Wright, nothing coming up. 1-1 to the center fielder, Henry Wright. He struck out his first time up to end the 1st inning. Throw back over to 1st. It's easier to talk about these teams we see a lot, like the Bombers. That one's in there to right, 1-2. We're seeing some of these pitchers start to get into a real groove. Guys that can consistently go out there and give you 4 to 5 innings. Missed the paint outside, 2-2. Two-two pitch, reached over and fouled it back to the screen. Bombers leading this one 1-0 in the top of the fourth. No outs, runner on first. Misses high, fills up the count 3-2 to Henry Wright. Second inning in a row, we've seen a leadoff base hit from the Bootleggers. Last time 2 balks moved Weinzimmer over to third, but they were not able to cash in. Another throw to first to Chase Beckley. Three balls, 2 strikes. Pitches up high, bounces out of the glove of Richardson. So Henry Wright will take first. Second walk issued by Ian Wheel. Runners on first and second and no outs for Jalen Freeman. Had a couple of RBI yesterday on sac flies. Very capable bat in the middle of this Bootleggers order. Got the call up to the power a little less than a week ago. First pitch, big cut. Grounded it down the third baseline, foul. Well, if there's ever been an opportunity in this game, if it wasn't in the third with a runner 90 feet away, it's definitely here. The 0-1. Downstairs, 1-1. One misses near the helmet, 2-1. No one warming up in either bullpen currently, so Ian Wheel and Matt Lascano are going to keep dueling it out. 2-1 pitch to Freeman. Lifted on the left side. Backtracking is third baseman Johnson, but he's called off by Connor Lang. He'll make the catch for the first out of the top of the fourth. Jalen Freeman goes down with a pop out right on the foul territory.
I like the way Connor Lane calls for that ball. He sees that Deshaun Johnson, or maybe he doesn't, but it's a tough play for Deshaun Johnson, who seems to be a little uncomfortable with backing up like that. And then Lang immediately calls him off. Like, this is my ball, man. I got a much better angle.
It seems like a small thing to bring up in constant talking points, but communication really is key for these guys. They're really, they may be just hitting their stride as a team altogether. And one thing that can really make things easier is being able to talk out a play. First pitch misses outside to Colin Jensen. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
Dare I say that's important in everyday life, Sam?
Yes, communication is key. 1-0 pitch to Jensen. Downstairs. Another one foul back to the screen. Two and 1 to Colin Jensen. So far this season, 4 for his first 16. 3 singles and a double. Up to 5 RBIs. Got a chance with a runner in scoring position here. Still runners on first and second and 1 out. Swung on and missed in the dirt. Evens the count 2-2. Bootleggers trailing 1-0, looking to make some noise here in the top of the fourth. Beckley on second, he singled. Henry Wright at first, he walked. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Down low, throw back to first, a little bit wide of the bag.
Talked a lot about that yesterday, Sam, about the ability for a catcher to control the game. We haven't necessarily seen any catchers in the PSCL this year just straight up take control of a game. And I just love that decision there, even though it was ball 3, and even though he's throwing behind the lead runner, I love that back pick.
Here's a full count pitch. Swung halfway, we'll see if they appeal. They will not. Colin Jensen reaches on the third, walk by Ian Wheel, and the bags are loaded for Tommy Eisenstadt. Bootleggers are on all fours, but they'll have a meeting on the mound. Thomas Nelson will go out, have a chat with his pitcher, Ian Wheel. There is action now in the Bombers bullpen. Alex Beckencourt starting to warm up. This is a moment you go out there and try to find a ground ball. Let your infield do the work for you. Have a 1-0 lead. Wheel's been able to work out of these situations before. Calling the infield in lets them know this is not only his battle to finish. Batter is the first baseman, Tommy Eisenstadt. He flew out his first time up. Left-handed hitter working against the right-hander, Ian Wheel. Here's the first pitch. That one smoked to second on the ground. Flip over to short. Connor Lane relays to first. Double play to end the inning. Exactly what they drew up. Ground ball to second, flipped over for a double play. Ends the top of the fourth, and Ian Wheel once again strands runners in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the fourth. The Bombers still leading this one 1-0. I have a hard time changing up the first part. I can change it in the middle. It's just like I did that at one point. Bottom of the fourth, Ian Wheel leaves the bases loaded. Back in the top half of this frame. The Bombers still hanging on to a 1-0 lead, looking for some pad. It'll be up to the bottom of the lineup, Alfino, Lang, and Blaschke to do just that. Bombers still facing off against Matt Lascano. First pitch into Vinny Alfino, misses high, 1-0. Alfino serving as the DH here today. Flew out his first time up. Line job down the right field line. That's going to get down in foul territory. Seeing a lot of guys waiting on the off speed, trying to flip it down the other side. Alfino still looking for his second hit of the year. One out of the windup. Here's another pitch. Grounded to second. Pavin comes up with it, throws over to first, and retires Alfino for the first out of the bottom of the fourth. Looked like the same execution, or maybe the same idea, just different execution there for Alfino. Trying to put it to the opposite field, but that time didn't get enough air under it. Connor Lang digs in. He also flew out in his first time up. Breaking ball misses high, 1-0. One was in there, 1-1. Outside, 2-1 to Lang. Connor Lang still searching for his first hit in the PSCL. Splitting time in the middle infield with multiple guys on the Bombers. Matt Gonzalez playing second today is one of them. Just missed the outside corner, 3-1. Splitting time with Brandon Dodd. Alex Betancourt also roams in the infield. Robert Blaschke gets that off the end of the bat into foul territory. Fills up the count, 3-2. This is the first full count we've seen Matt Lascano go to today. We'll see how he attacks Connor Lang. Three balls and 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Pitch sails high. Connor Lang reaches on the 5th walk by Matt Lascano. Starting to see some action in the Bootleggers bullpen. That's Ben Eisenhower warming up, the lefty in the orange and white bullpen. So Connor Lang aboard first with a walk. That brings up Robert Blaschke. Walked his first time up. Sees the first pitch in, but is downstairs. Throw over to first, nothing doing. Robert Blaschke, one of these guys we might see in the upcoming uncommitted PSCL game versus the Power on July 3rd. Misses another one low, 2-0.
Have 2 of those types of games, Sam. We'll have that on July 3rd and then again on July the 6th. A couple days apart. But be good for these guys. Try and get some recognition. Try and find a home.
2-0 to Blaschke. Misses high, 3-0. Blaschke saw a 4-pitch walk his last time up. I'm sure he wants to swing the bat, but whatever you can do to give your pad to your team. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Only a 1-run lead for the Bombers. The 3-0. Called strike. They hold the runner laying on at first. Here's a 3-1. Once again, ducked down to see it in, but it does not catch the zone. That's the 6th walk of the morning for Matt Lascano. Got to imagine Eisenhower's close to being done here, but they'll let Matt Lascano see one more batter. Mason Daniels has a chat with the man behind him, Matt Gonzalez. And Daniels will dig in. 0 for 2 today, reached on an error back in the second. Flew out to his counterpart in center field. Two walks, has 2 runners on base for the Bombers. Lascano spins and throws, but time was called before. Yeah, it's becoming quite obvious that Matt Lascano is not as comfortable with his mechanics and his delivery, and especially having to step off and check runners when he's working out of the stretch. No runners being held on. Pavin shades the runner at second. First pitch to Mason Daniels in the dirt. Mason Daniels with good speed, ball on the ground. It would take a really good relay and a really good transfer in the middle. Be able to double them up. Another one misses low, 2-0. Laying at second, Blaschke at first. The 2-0 to Mason Daniels. Able to get a piece of that one and fouls it back out of play, 2-1.
Got to imagine this is one of, if not the last batter for Matt Lascano here.
Looks like Eisenhower is all done in the Bootleggers bullpen.
You want to see him, give him his best stuff right here to wrap up the day.
2-1. Misses in the dirt, gets past the catcher, Ryan Hoskins. Both runners will move up 90 feet, and 2 in scoring position now for Mason Daniels with a 3-1 count. Goes as a wild pitch on Matt Lascano. First one charged today. You can dance your way around the batters here at the top of the lineup for the Bombers, but you do not want to see Deshaun Johnson with runners on here. Daniels grounds that one to first, handled by Tommy Eisenstadt. Both runners stay put. 2 outs now in the bottom of the fourth. Lascano able to find the weak part of the bat. And Eisenstadt gave a good look over to Connor Lang at third. That'll bring up Matt Gonzalez. The second baseman is also 0 for 2 today. Ended up scoring back in the first, reached on an error. Runners at second and third. The first pitch sails over the head of the backstop. Coming in to score is Connor Lang. It is 2-0 Bombers. Blaschke also on his high horse moves over to third. Another wild pitch on Matt Lascano.
So that's 2 runs now for the Bombers, neither of them on a hit. Sac fly for the first one.
Another runner 90 feet away, and Matt Gonzalez digging in with a 1-0 count. This Bombers lineup is too good to give them free runs. That one's hammered down the third baseline, fair. That'll get down and into the corner. Matt Gonzalez rounding first. Coming in to score is Blaschke. It is 3-0 Bombers on the extra base hit by Matt Gonzalez. Was not expecting that out of Matt Gonzalez. Only standing 5'8", 145. He put a good turn on that ball and put it past the third baseman, John McCutcheon.
Height doesn't measure heart, Sam.
That is absolutely right. So they will see Johnson with the runner in scoring position after the double by Matt Gonzalez. 3-0 Bombers. A chance to do a little bit more damage here with the hottest hitter in the league up to bat. Spin and throw back to second. Tag is late. if you're going to let the Bombers beat you, you're going to have to let them do it like that. Make them earn those runs. Only one of the three so far today have come on an RBI hit. In there, called strike to Deshaun Johnson. He walked his first time up. The 0-1. Missed outside, 1-1. It's not an easy sell to play the inside-out game versus Deshaun Johnson. He'll find the baseball anywhere it is. Pure hitter. Skies that one out to right field. Broder's coming in. He'll make the catch and that'll retire the side, but the Bombers strike for 2 more. They lead over the Bootleggers heading to the top of the 5th, 3-0. Top of the 5th. Bombers leading 3-0. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Bombers. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Bootleggers. First pitch to Marcus Weinzimmer, misses outside, 1-0. It's another inning of Ian Wheel. 4 scoreless so far. That one's lined to short. Caught by the new shortstop, Brandon Dodd, I believe, has entered in at shortstop. Yes, that'll be Brandon Dodd entering at short. And also a new first baseman for the Bombers is Justice Lucas taking over for Gary Peralta. First pitch misses to John McCutcheon. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Well, Ian Wheel started off this ball game with 2 straight 1-2-3 innings. That one's grounded to the right side and through the hole. Also now taking over in right field is Nick Schnapp. Able to field that ground ball that made it through. Base hit for John McCutcheon. So again, the changes for you. Nick Schnapp now in right. Brandon Dodd takes over at shortstop, and Justice Lucas is now holding John McCutcheon on at first. Brings up Ryan Hoskins. First pitch in there, a called strike. Line out to the shortstop, Dodd, and a base hit by John McCutcheon. As is where we are in the top of the 5th. Breaking ball misses inside to Hoskins. 1-1. Catcher struck out his first time up. That one's in there, 1-2 to Hoskins. Well, as mentioned, the first 2 innings for Ian Wheel went smoothly. 2 1-2-3 innings. Was able to work out of a bases loaded jam back in the 4th and left a runner stranded on 3rd in the 3rd. Breaking ball a little bit high, 2-2. Two swung on and missed by Ryan Hoskins. That's the 7th strikeout of the day for Ian Wheel. And the second out here in the top of the 5th. He's been doing it for 3 innings now. Only 3 hits surrendered to the Bootleggers. 3 walks on top of that. All 6 of the base runners so far have been stranded. Here's Greg Pavin, the second baseman, walked his first time up. First pitch on the outside corner, 0-1. Greg Pavin watches another strike. It's 0-2. Bootleggers are running out of time for that much patience. The 0-2. Breaking ball was able to flip it out into right field for a base hit. Takes a hop off the outfield grass. And 2 runners on, 2 outs. Bootleggers threatening again. Made it back to the top of the lineup as Jeff Broaders. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. We saw Alex Betancourt warming up in the Bombers bullpen earlier, but Ian Wheel still got it working. Even with 2 runners on, doesn't feel like an easy feat to bring one of them in. Another first pitch strike, 0-1 to Jeff Broaders. One is flipped over on the right side and out of play. Quickly 0-2 on the leadoff batter. McCutcheon at second, Pavin at first. 2 singles here in this inning. But Jeff Broaders is down to 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. Offered at it, was able to keep the bat back. Wheel toes the rubber again. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Pitch is swung on and missed. 8th strikeout of the day for Ian Wheel. Leaves another 2 runners stranded for the Bootleggers. Right into the bottom of the 5th. The Bombers still over in this one, 3-0. Bottom of the fifth, the Bombers still leading 3-0. Matt Lascano exits this game. He will not be a part of a potential win if there was a comeback here for the Bootleggers. He is currently on the hook for the loss. Exits after 4 innings. 3 runs surrendered, 2 of those earned, 6 walks, no strikeouts, and 3 hits given up to the Bombers lineup. It'll be Ben Eisenhower tasked with facing off against the middle of the order. Tyler Richardson, Gary Peralta, and Brandon Smith due up. First pitch to Richardson and swung on and missed, 0-1. Ben Eisenhower, the left-hander, out of De Anza College, making his 5th appearance today, all out of relief. Misses 1-1. Richardson reaches for another one and doesn't get the bat on it, 1-2. Richardson's 0 for 1, had a sac fly back in the first. Scored the first run of the game for the Bombers. 1-2 to the catcher Richardson, swung on and missed, reached for another one, came up empty. First strikeout for Ben Eisenhower and the first out in the bottom of the 5th.
First strikeout of the ball game for the Bombers offensively.
That's right, Lascano didn't have one through 3 times in the order with the Bombers. It'll be Justice Lucas here. Took over at first base in the top half of the inning. First pitch runs inside to Lucas and bounces in the dirt. We finally saw Justice Lucas get into one yesterday. Didn't quite have the distance, but a big ground rule double that bounced over the wall, had enough height to be able to take one hop over the fence in left center. Still waiting for him to put it all together. In there, called strike, 1-1 to Justice Lucas. Missed outside, 2-1. Lucas taking over for Gary Peralta. He ended up going 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. The 2-1. Swung on and grounded to second. Ranging over is Pavin. Throws to first for the second out of the bottom of the 5th. It seems to me that something might not be quite right with Justice's timing right now. Hitting opposite field weak grounders to second doesn't seem to be in his MO. Regardless, it's Brandon Smith now. 1 for 2. He taps that one to third. Ranging in is McCutcheon. He bobbles it, and it's going to get past him. That's an error on McCutcheon. The 3rd error on the infield today. Allows Brandon Smith to reach. So the inning continues. It'll be Nick Schnapp. He'll have his first at-bat today after taking over in right field for Aiden Rowan. Brandon Smith leads off at first. First pitch to Schnapp, in there for a strike, 0-1. Able to get a piece of it, but fouls it down the first baseline. Schnapp 5 for his first 13 at the plate. Couple of doubles and 3 RBI on the season. He's down 0-2. Ben Eisenhower looking to work out of this inning. Two-strike pitch, here it comes. That one is laced down the left field line and out of play. One runner on and 2 gone. Bottom of the 5th. 2-strike pitch, breaking ball, froze Nick Schnapp. Second strikeout for Ben Eisenhower ends the bottom of the 5th. We're heading to the top of the 6th. The Bombers still up in this one, 3-0. Ian Wheel still working on a scoreless outing. He's gone 5. Working in the top of the 6th with the lead. Bombers over Bootleggers currently 3-0. First pitch misses to Nathan Beckley. It's 1-0. Right now, Ian Wheel sitting around 85 pitches. That would have been his 86th. Looking to go the distance. Fouled off and into the stands. Nathan Beckley's 1 for 2 today, had a single back in the 4th. It's one of the 4 hits given up by Ian Wheel so far today. He flies that one out to left field. Ranging in is Brandon Smith. He's got it, first out of the top of the 6th. The Bombers will start to warm Jake Matisse in the bullpen. May see the left-hander at some point, but right now Ian Wheel is cruising. Brings up Henry Wright, the center fielder. 0 for 1 with the walk. Good pick by Richardson, but it was in the dirt. One-0 catches the outside corner, 1-1 to right. This is what we meant about the PSCL. Guys are starting to really get the feel for the ball, and we're starting to see pitchers go deeper and deeper into games. Breaking ball misses inside, 2-1.
Starting to feel more and more real every day we come out here, Sam. Guys are starting to get more comfortable, acclimated, and I think one thing we haven't really talked about is guys playing every day.
Yes.
90% of these guys have not done that before.
Breaking ball in there, 2-2 to Henry Wright.
It's a sprint.
No marathons in Palm Springs this summer. We have been off to the races for 3 weeks now. 2-2 pitch. Able to get a piece of it, but lifts it out of play. Two down low. Fills up the count, the second full count that Henry Wright has seen today. He walked back in the 4th on a full count pitch. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and missed. 9th strikeout. Foul tipped into the glove of Richardson. Ian Wheel just has it working today. able to throw the fastball past him, able to throw the breaking ball for a strike. That's all you can ask for a guy that's now 5 2/3 into this game. 2 outs in the top of the 6th for Jalen Freeman. He is 0 for 2. Tried the inside corner with the fastball.
Go back there. I like it.
If you haven't earned it by now, might as well go back to it. You're going to want that if you want to finish this one off. He goes back to it and is flown out to right field. Chasing is Nick Schnapp, and he is there to make the catch. 6 scoreless for Ian Wheel. Absolutely dominating over the Bootleggers right now. His lineup has him. The Bombers still lead this one 3-0. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th. Last chance for the Bombers to add some more damage. They lead 3-0 over the Bootleggers. It'll be up to the bottom of the lineup. Alfino, Lang, and Blaschke due up. Facing off against Ben Eisenhower. Worked a clean inning back in the 5th. First pitch tries the breaking ball on the inside corner. Swung on and missed by Alfino. Evens the count 1-1. Gets the call 1-2 to Alfino. He's 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a fly out. Missed outside 2-2. Eisenhower working quickly from the windup. 2-2 pitch to Alfino. Breaking ball froze him. Strike 3. Third strikeout for Eisenhower. Second straight. It'll be Brandon Dodd. Getting his first swings after coming in as a defensive substitution at shortstop for Connor Lang. First pitch swung on and missed, 0-1. Like to see Eisenhower really cruise through this inning. Bootlegger sure could use it. Misses inside, 1-1. Brandon Dodd 4 for his first 13 at the plate so far this season. 3 singles and a double. Couple of RBI mixed in. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball got away from Eisenhower, 2-1. 2-1 misses the outside. Three balls and one strike to Brandon Dodd. We're in the bottom of the sixth. Bombers leading over the Bootleggers 3-0. Able to flip that one back to the screen as 3-2. Here's the payoff. Grounds that one up the middle and through for a base hit. Brandon Dodd's aboard with the first hit of the bottom of the sixth for the Bombers. Able to draw it to a full count and works that one up the middle. So Robert Blaschke will come up. He has walked twice today and scored back in the fourth. Throw over to first. Nothing doing. Brandon Dodd in there safely. Bootleggers playing double play depth. Here's the first pitch to Robert Blaschke. Is downstairs. 1-0. Another throw over to first. Quick step off by Eisenhower, but too late. Don't see many lefties elect for the underhand or the sidearm pickoff. A lot of guys usually step off and throw over the shoulder. Tipped at the plate by Blaschke. That'll leave the count 1-1. Eisenhower looking for a shutdown frame to get the bats back in the hands of the Bootleggers. Another throw to first. Good block by Eisenstadt, able to keep it in front of him. One to the plate. Breaking ball inside corner. 1-2. Eisenstadt not drawing many swing and misses with the breaking ball, but he's able to earn a lot of calls on the inside part of the plate to righties with it. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Robert Blaschke. Here's the pitch. That hit him. Either hit him or the bat. Looks like it ran inside. Blaschke still holding on to the bat and his wrist at home plate. Brandon Dodd took off to second thinking that Robert got hit as well, but it doesn't seem like he wants to take the base. Neither we or the umpires are quite sure what's going on. Looks like it might have hit off the bottom of the bat, but...
Want to swing?
Yeah.
Let's go. That's always my mentality. Hey, I'm here to swing. I ain't here to get hit.
Yeah, Blaschke's already been walked twice today. He wants to get some real cuts in. Both of those walks, he didn't swing at a single pitch. One was a 4-pitch walk, and the other one earned a called strike on the 3-0, but walked him the next pitch.
I think the debate was foul ball, lean into it. What are they going with? It looks like they're just going straight foul ball.
Yeah, I don't believe he leaned into it because it ran in. Blaschke turned open face to the mound. So here's another 1-2. Missed outside, 2-2. Debate could have been on whether he swung or not. It caught a piece of something, and I'm guessing it was the bat. Another pitch. Misses high. Throw back to first by Richardson. pardon, by Hoskins, but they're late getting Brandon Dodd.
Bring it up again. I really like the way that Ryan Hoskins is working behind the plate today. That's 2 back picks. That's a perfect pitch to do it on. One that runs away. Your momentum's already leaning that way, so why not?
Payoff pitch. Breaking ball, tried the outside corner. Nothing doing. So Blaschke's aboard. First walk allowed by Ben Eisenhower. It's back to the top of the Bombers lineup. Hoskins will have a chat with his man on the mound. It'll be Mason Daniels due up here. 0 for 3 today. Bombers still leading this one 3-0. Bottom of the 6th with 1 out. Step off by Eisenhower. Out of the stretch, here's the first pitch to Mason Daniels. Downstairs, bounces in the dirt. Good stop by Hoskins. The 1-0 runner at second taking off. Called strike, but no throw to third. Brandon Dodd swipes a bag. This game started off with a whole lot of flyouts. A lot of guys putting the ball in the air, but it is completely flipped on its head at this point. A lot of balls on the ground, a lot of strikeouts. The 1-1 to Daniels. Gets under the glove of Hoskins. Coming in to score is Brandon Dodd. That'll make it 4-0 Bombers, and Blaschke heads to second. Wild pitch allows Brandon Dodd to score and moves Blaschke up 90 feet. Still 2-1 to Mason Daniels. He now has a runner in scoring position at second. Pitch is roped down the right field line, foul. No one getting loose in either bullpen, so it looks like this will be Eisenhower's inning to finish and potentially Ian Wheels in the top of the 7th. The 2-2 to Mason Daniels. Swung on and missed. Daniels down 0 for 4 now today. 4th strikeout for Ben Eisenhower. Now 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. When we reach the top of the 7th, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up in the order to face off against Ian Wheel. Bootleggers still trying to climb out of a 4-run deficit now. First pitch from Eisenhower in there for a called strike to Alex Betancourt, now batting for Matt Gonzalez. Runner on second, 2 outs. Breaking ball is grounded to second. Pavin bobbles it, does not come up with it. He makes the throw to first, but it is not in time. 2-out error by Greg Pavin has runners on the corners, and the Bombers threatening to add more. Goes E4, the 4th error by the Bootleggers infield. Many of those granting the opportunities to score that the Bombers have had. The run back in the 1st reached on an error. And this inning continues due to the one by the second baseman. So it'll be Deshaun Johnson with runners on the corners, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch down low. Good block by Hoskins. Blaschke at third, Betancourt at first. The pitch to Deshaun Johnson. Able to get a piece of it, tips it out of play.
Johnson looking fairly human today here in the PSCL. You might go ahead and say that he's kind of due here in this one. 0 for 2 with a walk.
Came in today with an .833 batting average. Quite inhuman. 1-1, got another piece of it. Fouled it back to the screen. It's 1-2. Also got to think that Deshaun is playing a lot more innings than guys. He has gotten 3 straight starts batting leadoff for the Power, so he's seeing the most at-bats. He's playing the most here. He's batting at the top of the order, playing third base nearly consistently almost every day. That one bounces off the glove of the catcher Hoskins. Coming in to score is Blaschke. He will bait at the plate, and he is safe. No toss back to the pitcher. Hoskins tried to do it himself, but Blaschke able to slide in there and score the 5th run for the Bombers. That's going to go as a pass ball on Hoskins. Breaking ball bounced off of his glove. Seemed like he already had it in the mitt, but it bounced off the meat on one of the sides and rolled away down the first baseline. So yet another run scores in between the mound and the plate. 5-0 Bombers. 2 runs have scored here in the bottom of the 6th. Another runner in scoring position is Betancourt. And a 2-2 count to Deshaun Johnson. Struck him out. 5th strikeout for Eisenhower. He allows 2 runs to score. We're heading to the top of the 7th. The Bootleggers still trailing this one, now 5-0. We've reached the top of the 7th. Ian Wheel trying to put the finishing touches on a 4-hit shutout versus the Bootleggers. The Bombers lead this one 5-0. Here to take you the rest of the way through this half inning, Steve Granado.
Thanks, Sam. Mighty fine job as always. As we move to the top of the 7th, Ian Wheel trying to do what not many are able to do and kind of a rarity around the PSCL. A complete game shutout. The first batter he faces Colin Jensen, and it's in there for a called strike. No balls, 1 strike. Jensen, Eisenstadt, and Weinzimmer, 5, 6, and 7 for the Bootleggers. Only seen, or haven't seen any changes for the Bootleggers offense today. Swinging a foul tip to the mid, 0-2. Ian Wheel also looking for the elusive double-digit strikeout total tonight. Don't see that around these parts either.
Currently sitting at 9.
Yes, sir.
And an 0-2 count on Jensen.
Yes, sir. Someone he's already struck out today. All the way back in the second. Comes back the 0-2. Chop ball left side of the diamond, waiting for the hop and getting underneath the glove of Dodd into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Even if Dodd makes that play, Jensen likely runs it out. So a single to left. That's just the 5th hit allowed today. Oh, he kind of knew something was special when Ian Will went 6 up, 6 down to begin the ball game with 3 punch-outs.
Worked his way out of trouble.
Down.
Yeah, worked his way out of trouble in the 3rd and the 4th.
Little bit of the 5th, yeah. 2 on with 2 out. He was able to work out of it. Downstairs to Tommy Eisenstadt. Double play rolled into in the 4th. That would work here. And a fly out to center in the 2nd. That would also work here. In the dirt. Never root against the team, but when you have Ian Wheel doing what he's doing, can't help but root for that guy.
What he's working on right now would be the first of its kind in the PSCL this season. We've seen a couple of complete games, actually full 7-inning starts by pitchers in the PSCL. Throw over to first. But none of those being a scoreless outing. No shutouts so far in a full complete game. We've seen a 2-run complete game, and we've seen a 4-run complete game.
Misses off the outside part of the plate. Yeah, to get Ian Wheel to do what no one has done thus far halfway through the season. Again, can't help but root for that. Unless you are the Bootleggers who are trying to get on the board trailing 5-0. This is a called strike to run the count to 2-2. On its way home. Cranked into right field. It's going to be a long run for Schnapp. It's going to be over his head. And 1 hop off the base of the wall. 2nd and 3rd now. They hold everybody up there. A single and an Eisenstadt double. And for the first time today, the Bootleggers seriously threatening.
They've had Jake Matisse in the bullpen for the Bombers for a while now. We'll see if they elect to go to them.
No doubt double for Eisenstadt, his first hit of the ball game. It's the first time today that the Bootleggers have put back-to-back hits. Had a hit and a walk in the 4th in a very similar situation. He ended up getting 2nd and 3rd. Actually loaded the bases at one point in the 4th inning. They'll go chat with Wheel. Try and get him back on the wheels. With his mind set in the right spot. He's going to have to work for this CG shutout. You always do. Going to face adversity at some point. Just happened to come in the 7th here. Marcus Weinzimmer singled back in the 30s, 1 for 2 today. Last time up, it was a soft liner to short. First pitch above the letters, 1-0.
It's when Wheel gets in that groove of having some first pitch strikes back to back to back. That's when he's got it working.
There it is, 1-1.
Fell behind to Eisenstadt on the 3-1 count, left a pitch down the middle.
Got a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Looking for punch out number 10. Infield drawn in here. Got him swinging. Give him double digits on the day. Strikeout numero 10. Are you kidding me, Ian Wheel? Went back to the breaking ball and got him late on it.
Wheeling and dealing right now.
Yes, sir. John McCutcheon now with 1 out, 2 on, both in scoring position, trying to break that goose egg that's been plaguing the Bootleggers all day. Went back to the breaking ball, missed low and off the plate. McCutcheon with a single and a strikeout today. He's 1 for 2. On the edge for a strike. It's 1-1.
Don't believe this is actually McCutcheon.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
But I can't say I'm sure who it actually is. Rich Myers. Rich Myers up to the plate.
Thank you. Ball got away, and that's going to bring home the first run. We will not see a complete game shutout today. Wild pitch to plate Colin Jensen. That's a bummer. But maybe we'll see ourselves a late game rally from the Bootleggers. We have time for it. Clock's about to strike 11, which would put us 3 minutes shy of the 2-hour mark here today. Again, the soft 2-hour time limit. Hasn't been all sunshine and daisies today for Wheelie. Does have a few balks. Now a wild pitch. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Rich Myers. Pinch hitting for McCutcheon. Chopped out of play, and it's a full count. That is an earned run, by the way. 5-1 contest. However this inning shakes out, you can tip the cap to Ian Wheel today. 3-2 liner to left and down for a base knock and a run home. Rounding first and headed for second, an RBI double, second double of the inning for the Bootleggers, and they're on the board once more. It's now 5-2. Rich Myers, the pinch hit 2-bagger, and that's likely the end of the line for Ian Will, and he don't like it. You don't even want to look. Yeah, he's upset right now. Understandably so, wanted the complete game shutout, but the Bootleggers' bats come to life. And the Bombers will have to go to the bullpen, still up by 3. It's going to be a save situation. I'll tell you about the new arm when we come back. 5-2, there's 1 out here in the 7th. We'll see Jake Matisse work out of the bullpen for the 5th time this year. He'll face off with the pinch hitter Graham Gonzalez with 2 runs home, 1 out, and a runner at second base as the Bootleggers trying to make a furious late inning rally. First pitch misses outside and off the plate from the left-hander, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. So a lefty-lefty matchup here to begin the day for Jake Matisse. 1-0 misses downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Graham Gonzalez pinch hits for Ryan Hoskins, who went 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts today. Back-to-back pinch hitters here for the Bootleggers. Now it's 3-0. Just past the 2-hour mark in this one. strike one, 3-1. Jake Matisse out of Beloit College, left-handed pitcher. As I mentioned again, his 5th appearance of the year. He's only tossed 3 2/3 innings thus far. He's been charged with 4 runs in those frames. He'll miss low and off the plate. So Graham Gonzalez comes in and draws a walk. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. Greg Pavin, who's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, comes up. Not impossible. For a strike there, 0-1 on Pavin. His last time up was the aforementioned single in the 5th. It's 5-2, 2 runs here late in the 7th, and still only 1 out. 0-1 for Matisse. Is on the edge for a strike, and he starts him out hot 0-2.
I would argue we've seen crazier things happen.
Sure. Seen a lot of crazy things this summer.
We've seen 6-run innings. I believe we've seen even more than that.
Some more than that in the power. Floats high for a 1-2 count. Power had like an 8 or 9 run inning at one point, somewhere around there. We saw an 8-run inning here in the PSCL. That would work. Ground ball to short. Going to be a tough hop and gets into left field past Dodd. Coming around third is Myers, and the Bootleggers very much alive. It's 5-3. Was a tough hop to the backhand from Dodd. Greg Pavin's 2nd hit of the ball game. That puts the go-ahead run to the plate. A 3-run rally here in the 7th. And what was looking like just a few minutes ago a complete game shutout has been flipped on its head. So an RBI single to bring home Rich Myers. The first pitch a called strike. Going to get another pinch hitter here for the Bootleggers. This is Brandon McCray, pinch hitting for Jeff Broaders. He'll tap one foul. Hey, a couple of pinch hitters has worked out. Why not keep rolling with it? A couple of different looks. Some guys that have been waiting to get a chance. Brandon McCray out of the College of the Desert. Still 1 out. Chased it upstairs. Throw back to second base is going to be late. That does put the Bootleggers down to their final out here today. McCray goes down quickly. Top part of the order, by the way, the first batter has struck out 4 times. Jeff Broaders 3 times now, McCray once. First punch out for Matisse. Now they're 1 out away from locking up what was once nearly a sure-handed victory. Nathan Beckley will try and keep the ball game alive. First pitch back up the middle. Takes a weird hop and into center field. Here comes Gonzalez to the plate. It's a 1-1 ball game. RBI single for Nathan Beckley, and it's 5-4 in the 7th.
No quitting the Bootleggers so far today. They got a big chance now with the middle of the order. Henry Wright stepping up.
It's still a save opportunity. Book closed, by the way. Ian Wheel, 6 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. And Henry Wright to the plate with a chance to tie the ball game. Down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. The real crime today, however, is we're running out of time.
Yes.
It's 5-4, a furious comeback today. 1-0 flip towards second base, and the Bombers get out of it and leave with a victory today and just barely hang on for dear life to pick up a win here today. Henry Wright lines out to end the contest. A 9-batter, 4-run 7th just isn't enough for the Bootleggers. They fall by a 5-4 final. What a ball game, Sam.
Yeah, that one ended way closer than we anticipated. We were expecting another shutdown inning from Ian Wheel, but Jake Matisse able to come in, gave up a few runs, but able to close it out.
Does earn the save. Ian Wheel hangs on for the victory. The loss will be handed to Matt Lascano. It took us 2 hours and 6 minutes. Here are your final totals. for the Bombers. They put up 5 runs, doing so weirdly on just 4 hits here today. But here's the kicker for them. They end up leaving 9 on the base paths today and do not commit an error. For the Bootleggers, who fall in this contest, a furious comeback in the 7th. They plate 4 runs. They do so on 9 hits, out hitting their opponents. But here's the bad part. They commit 4 errors in this ball game and end up leaving 7 on the base paths. Again, ball game started 9:02, wrapped up at 11:08 with that last line out. Took us 2 hours and 6 minutes. Final score one last time for you. Bombers just hang on, 5-4. Ian Wheel. What a ball game today, even though those 3 runs do get charged to him, 6 1/3 with 10 Ks. Next game coming up here shortly. We'll start probably a couple minutes later, around 11:40 or so. Grizzly and Coyotes, that's up next for Sam Walters and for all of us with the Power Summer Collegiate League. I'm Steve Granado. We'll talk to you here momentarily. One last time, Bombers 5, Bootleggers 4. We'll be back in a moment from Palm Springs Stadium.